It's interesting because whenever I'm thinking about doing a video, sort of like planning it, um, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit in a nice setting and I'm going to wear such and such a thing. And then I'm going to talk about these talking points. And then I don't do it because I have planned it all out. It's like a painting that's already been painted in my mind. And then when I come on here, it's because someone has said something, um, or I'm so offended by something that I can't stop myself from talking. And that seems to be how I work. Anyway, this is a video in two parts, actually, because the first thing I wanted to, um, I forgot some people that I wanted to mention. Angelica, who is a Wiccan or a witch, and was a surrogate for Bernie Sanders and did some amazing videos in support of Marianne Williamson, very fiery and feisty, and talk about rally the sisters energy. It was very cool. And Deborah K. I can't remember the surname, but she has been incredibly supportive. I have seen her in YouTube and on Facebook, and I know the thing is, like, I am not working, so it's easy for me. Like, people have praised me for doing so much, but the truth is that I'm not having to balance with a work life or a personal life because I'm also single. So it's been easy for me to share a lot of stuff. Um, Minus TikTok. Like, I did very little on TikTok, honestly, or Instagram. But yeah, like, I had enough bandwidth for a certain, mostly YouTube and quite a lot of Facebook, and then I got seduced into Twitter, which I actually believe is a kind of like toxic addiction, um, and I don't want to do that anymore. Anyway, this video is and also to thank Wesley Powers, from who I believe has shifted from Arizona to Michigan, kind of in the tumult of this whole campaign, and will be doing progressive initiatives in Michigan. And I've had really great interactions with him as well. Um, anyway, yes, this video is entitled "The Singing Paradox" because Andrea Loritz Frey, had sent me some messages which were really inspiring, and she was kind of jumping off from my last video, and um, she was talking about she was referencing the same paradox, and I was listening while I was puttering around in my house. So at first I thought she said the singing paradox, and that kind of resonated in some sort of way with me, that there's a sort of diminished fifth harmonic between the paradoxes, and the Locrian scale, which is actually my favorite sound. And anyway, so sometimes these paradoxes, which are very frustrating when you have a certain idea of what you think things should become or be, and then they there's some beauty in the discord. Um, Certainly, like, Abraham Hicks always says, like, the contrast actually brings your attention to the beauty. So, without it, things would be kind of homogenous. And also, I have been, like, I kind of bashed Kyle Kalinske in my last video, which is a little bit unfair, um, considering that, like, just as far as strategy was concerned, I disagreed with his approach. But the guy is so orb pilled at this point. I mean, like, he became so spiritual, almost seeming to me surpassing Marianne Williamson herself. There was one um, interview I saw before she had declared, but when this was during the exploratory committee. She went on Kyle and Friends, and he asked her a question about doing things and not doing them. Like, when you're doing something and you realize it's not really you doing it, which is actually a really ancient principle from the Bhagavad Gita, called Nishkam Karma Yoga, where you're performing an action with full commitment. But the commitment is not based on pressure or necessity. It's based on your inspiration for the action. And also then you surrender the results. So for instance, in the case of voting, it would be like once you voted, you would stop obsessing about, oh, I have to get other people to vote. You would mention it. You would, talk to your friends and say, yeah, like this is what I'm inspired about in terms of politics. But you wouldn't be driving um, in the way of the race. Now, it was interesting in that conversation because Marianne Williamson kind of dialed it back. Like she doesn't want to let people off the hook or herself off the hook, as she said on Lena Franklin. Like she doesn't want to let people off the hook. I, from a spiritual perspective, I'm kind of wondering if you need to keep people on the hook necessarily in order to motivate them, because that's a very stick method of motivating. And so if I was to kind of like give a critical note there, I would say that actually what Kyle was saying was deeper, which was the commitment to the action based on the inspiration rather than the necessity. So like for me, for instance, if you look at climate change, my drive to protect the planet is actually not about saving the human race or the planet. It's about the fact that I love trees. It's really just my love of trees and cute animals and wanting those things to continue that makes me so passionate about that. So it has actually less to do with the necessity and the survival instinct. Anyway, so that's just something to think about. But yeah, I wanted to appreciate Andrea for her amazing audio messages, which are a kind of form of very engaging media themselves. Anyway, that's all for now. I think I covered all my points that I wanted to talk about. Melanie something has been on my channel. I also want to thank her for being so supportive and engaging in conversations with me about Marianne's campaign, and say thank you to her as well. I will pin a comment and dedicate it to her. Anyway, lots of love to you all. Bye for now.